Chapter 3. Simple, basic truth. Despair was his life now. No God could save him. In this reality of polarity, all that consumed him was negativity. Where was balance in his life? He used to have servants at his feet for every single one of his foolish demands, made in self-desire. But now he was in the dark, eyes searching for a light that was nowhere to be found. Silence of sound was to be found, as he had learned to not speak unless it was meant to be. Such sorrows had trained him in harsh reality. Unknown to him, these blessings of knowledge would be fruitful in wisdoms to him later in life, if he made it much further. Something snaps within the sitting boy. He slowly, unconsciously smiles in the dark. The door to his stone room slowly creeps open. He flinches as the light from beyond the door hits his eyes, revealing him to be bound to the wall by chains.
There is the little ugly child for you to play with, my dear. I made sure to beat him and train him properly before giving him as a present for you to play with.
The man at the entrance smirks.
Try to keep this one at least alive for 2 days, okay, sweetie?
The boy's eyes focus on the master's daughter as she walks into the room and hits him across the face with an engraved wooden rod. Her gleeful laugh echoes off the stones.
Thank you, Father. You are so kind to me. I shall soak my wand with his blood.
She smirks down at the boy, quivering on the floor, chains keeping him from moving any further, hole into his skin. The girl jabs her wand through his skin and straight into his heart.
This body won't do. I cast upon you renew. Everything taken must be replaced. The soul bound to this form until released to death, do not conform.
Her father smiles in approval at his daughter's newfound knowledge and power. He did not fear any safety issues from the boy, as the chains that bound him were unbreakable. The daughter removes her wand from the boy's heart, the wound closing itself. All of the wounds received from the months spent before with her father slowly mended themselves, leaving scars behind. A blue light shines from the other side of the door behind the father, whom turns and cries out in surprise.
Who are you? How did you get past the magical barriers?
Another blue flash appears as another figure comes through the dimensional portal. The father recognizes this individual and his voice drips with suspicion.
Negex, our business is done. What are you doing here with this castigator?
Dekex's smooth voice is heard.
I know not myself, Master Gavin. I find myself along for the ride,
As it were,
I must retrieve the child
I gave you some months before. I do hope you have kept him alive. Gillet responds with a sneer.
I know that is not a real castigator. As everyone knows, they glow red. You are overstepping the bounds of your servant class. Leave this place at once. You will be sure that your master will hear of this.
Dekex gives a wry chuckle.
I'm afraid you are mistaken on two accounts, Master. One, I no longer have a master. Two, this is not a fake castigator.
He pauses, savoring the moment, and says,
Please remove him and his daughter.
Both the father and daughter burst into blue flame, their screams snuffed out as they turn to blue glowing ash that slowly floats to the floor. The boy looks up to see a short, thin man in a slightly glowing formal suit of shadows standing before him, with a blue castigator cocking its head to one side behind him.
I'm glad you are alive, child. I was worried that they had killed you, cutting short this newfound adventure in a life that I had previously given over to servitude.
Dekex chuckles again, a strange glint to both of his eyes. The child says nothing, resting upon his knees again, silently observing the beings in his dark stone cell. Dekex narrows his eyes, looking at the chain boy, then motions to the castigator without looking and says,
Release the boy.
In a blur it does so, rainbow-colored energy arcing out all about and to and fro. The boy gazes in wonder at his own unbound body. What was this? The image of him leaping on the entities in the room and tearing them apart played itself in his mind, and he felt his limbs tense up, about to strike. Dekex then asks the boy what his name is. The boy blinks rapidly. He couldn't remember.
What do you want your name to be?
The boy looks up at the little strange man who seemed to tower over him. The man's yellow eyes glittering in the dark, his black pupils in the shape of a square. The blue castigator suddenly steps between Dekex and the boy. A soft synthetic voice whispers inside Dekex's mind.
Illusion magic has been hexed upon this child's soul. We should reveal its true form immediately.
Before Dekex can respond, the blue glowing castigator has the child's throat in both of its black hands, screaming in the child's face. Immense magical pressure pouring out of the child knocks Dekex off his feet and pins him to the floor. His frowning face has turned into one of awe as he gazes upon them from the ground. The child suddenly screams and reality seems to crack like glass around him. The shards of reality are thrown out in an explosion of concentrated raw power originating from the child's very center core of its soul. The blue castigator immediately sends all of its remaining energy to shield Dekex from the unbound hex magic as it rushes towards him in slowed time-space. Dekex looks up from the floor to see the child glowing white with purple eyes containing white pentagrams inside of the irises, and the blue castigator reduced to a burning husk on the floor. Burning white fire rose from the horned white-haired head of the child as it looked at Dekex in what appeared to be bewilderment. Out of the blue castigator's husk, the metal orb that had been given to Dekex appears. The white fire child disappears in a flash of arcane runes. The robot sends Dekex a telepathic message to explain his behavior.
I'm containing the child within an internal dimension to thoroughly analyze him, and also, at the same time, put him in a calming atmosphere. In this case, a recreation of your previous master's gardens. Until I find a new suitable host, I shall cloak myself to remain hidden from view. If you need me, simply think of what you need, as I will be monitoring your thoughts, Dekex.
Dekex didn't know what to think of the situation, nor how comfortable he was to constantly have his mind read. Acceptance was the only answer for him as of now.
Where shall our journey take us now?
He asks aloud. The robot answers inside his head.
We need a transport.